Welcome to my channel. I'm Yui. This video is about bush furniture, or as the Japanese call it, Wabi Sabi. So what I would like to tell you is a few things about the timbers I'm using. Is Tasmanian oak is actually a it's a eucalypt. It's some kind of some species of eucalypt that they cut down in Tasmania and mill down there. It's a beautiful timber, and it's in the hardware shops, and that's why I use it. The other thing is, I should tell you that red cedar is an indigenous timber to Australia and some of the islands to the north, like New Guinea and Indonesia. Now, red cedar is a soft hardwood, if that makes any sense. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but I can tell you it's a horrible timber to sand. I hate the smell of it. White ants won't go near it. That's why it's used quite a lot, or used to be used in the old days. So I hope that clears up a bit of the thing that some of you people would like to know about what sort of timbers they are. So the main timbers that I use for furniture are red cedar and Tasmanian oak, which is a eucalypt, as I've said. Now, everything about this house is, I designed this house and I built it. I dug all the foundations by hand with a pick and shovel. And the reason I did that is quite simple. I just didn't have the money. So what I'm trying to show a lot of you people is you don't need money. You need your input. That's what you need to build something. It's not really a case of money. You can go and hire things and hire people, spend a lot of time and money doing that sort of thing, or you can do what I did and do everything yourself. So there's nothing in this house that I haven't done. So I designed it, I put it through council, I did all the paperwork. When I bought the land, which was quite a long time ago now, land around here was worth $1,000 an acre, and that's what I paid for this, $1,000 an acre. And then I did all the paperwork myself. I didn't go through solicitors. I don't like all those people. They charge too much money, and you can do it yourself. You just have to do it. It's simple. So how I've got to this stage is I've done everything myself. But that means that a lot of the time, most of the time, I couldn't work. So that means I wasn't earning any money. So that put me in the situation where I had to do everything myself. Dig the foundations, lay all the bricks, mix the concrete, everything. And I did it with the old sort of hand tools. I didn't have any fancy tools. I never had power saws when I was doing this. It was all hand saws and second-hand hand saws at that. So I never really had any decent tools. I'm only just starting to get some decent tools. And it's, I'm an old bloke now. So anyway, this video and the next few videos I'm going to do is how I built this house, and I've still got things I'm doing to it, so it'll never be finished. It's one of those houses. It's one of those houses I'll always be pulling something down and putting something back up. But all houses are like that if you're a keen house builder. Let's put it that way, which I am. I love building things. So everything in this house is done by me. So I'm showing you the furniture I built on this vid. And in the next few bits I'll show you how I put this house together, what it's made of, how much it cost approximately, because it's so long ago that really the costs of those days have got nothing to do with the costs of these days. For, you know, you couldn't get, if you could get land for $1,000 an acre today, wouldn't it be marvellous? But I've got no idea what it is an acre, but it's just insane what it's worth. But anyway, I bought this back in the old days when things were cheap or cheaper. It was still relevant. It's still, $1,000 took you a long time to save up, I can tell you. I started my life as a jackaroo out in the bush, and that's where I learnt my bush skills. And bush skills are about just doing it. There is no skill, you just get on and do it. If a fence is down, you can't go and ask somebody, oh, how do you put the fence up? You've got to put it up one way or another. I mean, some of these things seem impossible at the time, but they can be done. And it's the same as this house. There was lots of things. People went, well, how did you do that? And I'd say, slowly, very slowly. And that's how it is. So I hope you stick with me. Please subscribe and let's get this channel growing. When Ozy-and-co start building their house, that'll be great. But it's not happening at the moment. They're having to pay some, you know, the rent that they're paying is so exorbitant. They've both got to work pretty well full time the whole time just to pay their rent. So getting up here and building a house, helping me build their house, is pretty impossible. So this is the sort of pickle that young people are in. So stick with me, and I'll show you some of the furniture I built. If you want to know how I built it, just write, and I'll answer every question you ask. Here I built. Next week I'll start doing maybe some of the yachts I've built. I like building boats. I love building things, I have to tell you. You know, some people like picking their nose. I like building things. So, and I like designing and building. So I built quite a few sailing boats and shacks, sheds, bridges, and this house, garages, anything. There's nothing impossible. There's nothing impossible that I can't do, and it's the same with you. But a lot of you say, oh, I can't do that, I'm not an expert. But the definition of an expert is, X is an unknown quantity, spurt is a drip under high pressure. Remember that. There's nothing you can't do, so if I can do it, you can do it. So let's have a go. So please follow the vids and subscribe. This is the red cedar table I made probably 30, 40 years ago. Grew the tree, chopped it down, took it to the mill and got a lot of it milled up, and what I couldn't get milled up, I did the very best I could with a chainsaw. And so this is all red cedar, Queensland red cedar. It's a beautiful red timber. Now this is kind of the Wabi Sabi type style. In other words, Wabi Sabi is about appreciating the material and not so much the workmanship of putting it together. And so this table is unlike other tables. It's got kind of you know, it's not dead flat. It's got little bumps and things that are not, you know, acceptable in other sorts of perfect tables. So in other words, I'm not going for perfection, I'm going for beauty, what looks good. And this timber is a beautiful timber. So, the things I didn't do. I was never interested in getting it dead flat. I wanted to look at the imperfections. And the imperfections are, it's not dead flat, it's got little nicks and you know, other imperfections which I find beautiful. So we've been using this table every day for the last 30-40 years, I suppose. Now there's no screws at all, no screws, no nails. This is all put together with high strength glue. Okay, I don't know if you can see all the details, probably not, but anyway, this is how it's put together. It's pretty solid. And what I did do is when I built it, I put all the relevant coins that I could find of that date, so that in 100 years' time you can sort of date the table. And when you do these things, I think it's important to put your name on it and a date. So the chairs are pretty rubbishy. They're pine and just stained, but what can you do? Now the other thing that I built is the light shade, or the light. So these things here, these rails here, are it's Tasmanian oak, made out of Tasmanian oak, and they're those kick rails that you put around the bottom of your walls. Can't think what you actually call it, but here's one down here so that you'll know. It's that thing there. So instead of painting them, I stained them to try and match the red cedar table, and it works good. It looks good, and it works good. So that's another bit. Now, another bit of furniture I built in here is this this cabinet here. Now it's made out of red cedar, out of the same tree, and I just put all this together. And this would be as old as the table, and nothing. This is a real Wabi Sabi type of thing. Nothing is, as you can see, these, and probably not see, these bits of timber here are not the same thickness. But that doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. And this bit of timber has all the bark and stuff left on it. I think what a lot of people call a live edge. Here, and here it is up again here. And it looks beautiful, to my way of thinking. You might like a really beautifully finished off thing, but I rather like this Wabi Sabi type of furniture making. And then I cut these holes in it just to make it a bit different, I suppose. Now this is the computer desk. It's not really pretty. It's made out of just ply and any bits of timber I could find. Sharon wanted a computer desk in the kitchen because, like a lot of people, this is the heart of the house. So I just made this, cut this ply into a shape so I could get the desktops in, but like everything, it's not quite big enough. But it works. It works good. So that's the main thing. This is the kitchen island. It's made out of Tasmanian oak, which is a native timber to Australia. And you know, I never sanded this flat either. I did all the sanding on it, and you know, it's got little bumps and nicks and stuff, but I like that. Moving into the living room, this is the TV stand I made. It's Tasmanian oak again. It's a timber I can get at the local hardware store. That's the reason I use it. A bit outdated here with these old CDs. I mean, they're well and truly gone. Just shows you how times change so quickly. But you know, it's got big drawers, and it's another bit of furniture that works. You know, out of the drawers. And here's another little bit of Wabi Sabi. In other words, live edges, and it's just put together as it is, really. And I didn't really do much at all to it except sand it. But and you know, it's one of those bits of furniture that works and didn't cost a thing. Now the window frames are another thing. Well, everything in this house I built, every single thing. But this is just another nice thing. This is Tasmanian oak again. It's a nice deep window frame. I like these. I like deep window frames. I like thick walls. I don't like this thin stuff. It looks too flimsy to my way of thinking. So I've got two of these windows here. These window frames. These were going to be French doors where these windows are, but I got the windows for nothing, so there you go. Cost me nothing, and the timber here is probably $200 worth of timber. They are, you know, we're talking about when I did it, which is 40 years ago. This is a bookcase I designed and built. Now, books, I love books. I love them. And the last bookcase I built, or the first bookcase I built, it just bowed under the extreme weight of books. So it only lasted a couple of years. So I had to figure out something a bit stronger than that because I wanted these long shelves. So what this is, it's a steel frame. You can see the steel at the back there. So it's a steel frame with Tasmanian oak. These are these kick boards again that come from the bottom of the whatever you call these things. So that is them. It's got that little round, and I've just turned them up the other way. And this is that really cheap Chinese, Japanese wood chip that they just glue together and stick this white stuff on top. But without these wooden frames underneath, without the steel frames underneath, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. So you can see the steel underneath. So the steel holds everything up. And it works real good. I mean, there's a hell of a weight in here. Tremendous weight. So, and you know, this is strong, cheap. It works. I'm interested in things that work. I'm not interested in fancy stuff, expensive stuff. So I really like to work outside the box. And not only that, but I've got lights in here. They're 12 volt. They're off a cheap solar panel I got. So this is all solar panel lights. And when the power goes off, and it has been going off quite a bit in these savage summer storms we've been getting, when the power goes off, I've always got this, we've got some lights to find the torches and stuff like this. So my next big project is a desk for here. This is one of those plastic Bunnings desks, but I have got some red cedar. I took it into Karoi, too long ago and got it sanded, so I've just got to put that together and make a live edged wasabi type desk so I can work from it. This is more wasabi type furniture. This is in the passageway between the living quarters and the sleeping quarters. And you can see it functions great. And people would go, oh, you've got holes in it and stuff like that. And if you look here, the timbers didn't meet. But that's what I wanted. I wanted to enjoy the nature of it, and I do. So this is just a table, a stand, or whatever you want for photos and precious things. And these are some of our stuff from some of the remote communities up north, remote Aboriginal communities. This is a red cedar table I built for the 62-foot cat that I built about 50, 60 years ago. And I had this inside one of the holes. And I got a mate of mine who's a pretty good blacksmith, and he made me the legs. So these legs. So I put the legs on it and brought it home and put it up here. This bit of sculpture that I did, it's in red cedar, and it's just natural red cedar. I haven't done anything to it at all, just carved it out with an old chisel. I don't have many tools. I'm starting to get a few tools in my old age, but when I was younger I had no tools at all. Old saws, well, very little of anything. I just had to make do, and I did. This is one of my favourite oil paintings from Cairns, from about 1960s, I would say. I love that picture. I love oil paintings, or any good painting. This is another bit of furniture I built, the washstand in the bathroom. This is all Tasmanian oak also. It's not quite Wabi Sabi, but it's getting that way. And I call this the box of junk. This is full up with stuff from the children's school days and manuscripts that I've built and written, and just general. People would call it junk, but anyway. The back piece for my bow is red cedar, and this is one of those cheap Bunnings shelving type things that I can put all my spare parts, I would say tools, whatever. That's where I keep all my stuff until I build a decent workshop. This is another bit of Wabi Sabi. A red cedar stool. Oh, it is so hot and steamy.